Good afternoon, YouTube modeling community. Just a product review, I guess. I don't know. It's actually a project review. Who knows if I'll ever even get to this particular project, but I like to kind of collect things and get things together so that in the future I have a lot of what I need already. I guess that stems from I like to look at plastic models and mess around with them before I build them and kind of imagine what they could be. But sometimes I sell them as projects that haven't been started, but many of the pieces there. And what I have here today is a resin body that I bought at the last model car swap meet. And it's of a 1948 Ford Delivery, which is pretty cool. And it came with a lot of parts, but some of the parts were cut up in such a way that I really didn't care for the way they were done. So I found another donor kit, and I'll just go over that donor kit with you, and also the resin kit, or the resin body that I acquired. And not that I'm going to build it anytime soon, just something you can look at and say, well, that's pretty cool. And maybe you can find one on your own and put it together or get some ideas. But I hope you enjoy this little review and to see what I've got, here on the bench, just looking at and imagining things. Okay. Here we have the donor kit. And this kit is made by Testers, and it's a really small box. If you think about it, I believe it's probably 1/25th scale. And actually that's what it says, it's 1/25th scale. The model actually is from 1976. So that's a pretty old box. It doesn't even have a UPC code on it or any of it, anything like that. So it's kind of cool to have even just this kit and it being so old. And there are more modern kits of the 1948 Ford Coupe that are really awesome. Well, actually, I don't know if they are of the Coupe, but I do know they have a Woody and all that. So there are 48 Ford Coupe models out there that are newer and more detailed. This is pretty well detailed, but it's one of those multi-piece body kits, which I'm not a fan of, and I don't know how many people are, but it is an interesting kit and an awesome donor kit for this resin. Okay, here is the resin kit. Sorry about the excessive amount of sun, but if I cover or curtain my window, then you won't see anything. But this is the resin body. Basically all that's resin is the body and the hood. I still don't understand why the hood is resin. I don't know what the difference between that and the hood that came from with the kit, because here is the hood that would come with the donor kit. Now the fenders that you see here, this tub, is not from my donor kit. It actually came with the resin model. And you can see it's full of dust. Who knows how many years this thing set before I ended up acquiring it. From what I understand, the person who sold this, which I got it dirt cheap, by the way, the person who sold this got it at an estate sale. And unfortunately, a lot of these estate sales is because someone has passed and they no longer, no one wants these kits, so they get sold. But obviously, this is set out for a long time. But, as you can see, on the resin kit, the firewall's molded in and everything. I guess if you wanted to street rod it, you'd have to shave everything off of there to try to smooth it out. But it's actually a pretty interesting kit, or interesting body. I'm not sure who made this resin, but I do think it's quite interesting. I'm not a Ford guy, but I'm always interested in kits or models that you don't see a lot of. And I don't know if you can see, but I can see now for the first time spots in the mold where the master was kind of thrown together, and you can, this will probably actually take a whole lot of work to get it to where it looks right. But this chassis, and I'll have to do the same, cut one up like this as well, but they kind of did a poor job on trimming, the back. It's uneven, it's not the same. Maybe that's why they never finished it, because they didn't do so hot on trimming the top. And again, I don't know if you can see how much dirt and stuff is there, and it is a glue bomb. You see glue there, and unfortunately on the fender right there, you can see where there's a lot of glue. And obviously you would paint it, so you could probably sand it down and clean it up, but it's kind of a lot of unnecessary work. I also noticed that, let me put it up against something white so we can see. Here in the back, you can see where they cut and trimmed on it, but this would actually have to be cut more towards the, more forward for the body to fit properly. But now to the donor kit. That's what came with, again, this pan here is what came with the resin kit. Here's the hood from my donor kit, and I really can't tell the difference between it and the resin piece. I really can't tell. I don't know. The resin piece, these are cut off, whereas on here they're still present. The resin piece even has the injection molding sink marks just like this, so it's an exact copy of the kit hood. So I don't know why they even bothered messing with that, unless this body will fit on a newer tub. I'm not for sure. Now here is the send from the donor that I acquired. A lot of fun. Hey, look, it's not. See where it is. It has a little. I don't know if you hear my finger had some easy flash out there. Anyway, it could crazy up, isn't it? And all that. And of course, the panel wag, or the panel doesn't have, and it has the fenders already on it. So like what they did here, I would have to trim, trim that out to make it, and because obviously it won't fit, at all with the fenders that are there. So, but at least I have a clean pan to work with. This pan still has the inner fender wells, which I would keep, whereas here someone did a really rough job of chopping them out, and I don't know what their plan was. Or now here is, the back seat and the roof. This is what I was saying. It's a multi-piece body, which I'm not a fan of because they never quite look right. So that's the roof that came with the donor kit, and here's the back. And if you look at it, it's all bent out of shape. It's seriously stressed here, and to get it to fit right, because when this is not a kit I would buy to build for it to be what it was meant to be. That's probably why it was never reissued. Now, despite a lot of the issues that it has a lot of wonderful things about it. Like, it was designed to where you can make the doors open and close, and these doors are wonderful. And unfortunately, the panel body, you can see the panel body doors are really skinny. And I'd have to research and everything, but I do not know why the panel doors would be skinnier than on what the coupe was. I'm not a Ford guy, so when I talk like this, I'm really showing my ignorance on what the panel trucks were. But again, I put it up close there, and you can actually see the difference. And I guess if I did put the door on, it would come practically all the way back to the back fender. So I don't even know if this body is correct. But to keep going here, I have has all the glass in a little baggie, and it's all perfect and everything. It has the inside parts of the doors, you know, and more of the, you know, the side windows. Here's what's really cool is now I have a chassis that fits the pan that will be used. I did fool around and try to see how other chassis worked, and they would have worked, but not quite as good. You know, there's a few broken pieces on it, but that's no big deal. And here is, you know, the kit's firewall, and you know, most of this donor kit's going to get trashed or parts boxed or, you know, sent to somebody who could use a bunch of extra parts, or maybe saved for a diorama. But there's a lot of cool stuff here, you know. Obviously I'm not going to use the headers. I'll put in an aftermarket V8 instead of the flathead, but look at that right there where my finger is. That's an old heater box. That is cool, man. I really love that. And here you see these are the clutch and foot pedals. That's, you know, the brake pedal. That is also really awesome and cool, you know, and a lot of the little flathead parts and everything. I'm not a flathead fan, so I never really built one. So, you know, I don't know if these are really good representations or not. The rear axle seems okay, but I'll be honest with you, I might try to find a 4 9-inch rear end to slide underneath there out of a more modern kit. Here we have the front bench seat. And what's cool about this is it is designed to where the backs actually fold down. Now, I never heard of a panel van having a front bench seat, because usually they would have buckets, so you can go in between them and into the back of the vehicle. But I think I'm going to use the bench seat because I think it is cool. You know, I don't know. I had to think about it. But I do think that's a really cool deal with this. Or maybe I might put it in a different, you know, forked kit. But that little street rod, save it for a little street rod project or something. The tires, well, they're rubber. And they have stickers for white walls. And they have excessive amounts of flashing. You know, the cleanup time on these tires, and they still would never look good. To be honest with you, it wouldn't be worth my time. Those tires will, I don't know, those will be a diorama thing, you know. The chrome is pretty cool. And what's interesting here is you have the dash chrome, but they also have the same piece but molded in black on another tree. But you have two different, one for a 48, and I don't know if that's a 46 or 47 or 49. You know, there are two different ear grill pieces here, so you can have different ears. And then even the hubcaps, you have two different ear model hubcaps. You know, so you don't have to literally make a 48. You can make another year, and I'm not sure what year that is. And you also have the bumperettes, which is cool, you know. And it being a panel, kind of truckish, I'm definitely going to hook that up. You know, I'm kind of kicking around, putting a four-wheel drive setup underneath there, not having it high, but having it to where, you know, a four-wheel drive. I think that'd be cool. You know, like the milkman going to the farm to pick up the cans or something. And then here, you can see what I was talking about. There's another dash insert piece that is black instead of chrome, and then there's the dash, you know. So, and what's neat about that is I think this was an awesome idea. You can paint the dash, the body color, and then you have your chrome piece completely separated. You can make it pretty cool. And you have your flathead engine parts, and what I like is right here, the stone guards. And I have to research, but it seems to me that those were an aluminum color. And if that's the case, I'll slap some bare metal foil on there and put them on this right there, because that's where they would go. That would be cool. But then again, it could have been black. Or maybe you could have got it either black or chrome. I don't know. And I do like these tires, or these wheels, these solid wheels, you know, with the lug nuts and stuff. So I think that's cool, but to be honest with you, I don't know if I will use those, but you know, if I do go with a more stock look, I'll definitely try to use those, you know, to give it that more, you know, truckish look, I guess you would call it. And I guess this is the final tree, and some more body parts, you know, exhaust tubing, your flathead motor and its parts, a separate battery, a really cool looking radiator. You know, again, I'll say that there's a lot of neat detail with this kit, but then, I hate to say it, a body that's in multiple pieces is kind of a drag. So that is a quick look at the parts kit for this 48 Ford